as a church leader, as a Christian, knowing that the church has so much to give, and also knowing that this church is connected to communities, is connected to grandmas, to mums, to dads, to brothers, to sisters, to shopkeepers, because many of the people from our communities attend our local churches. And so it's connected. And so for me, with the rise in crime, with the rise in antisocial behavior, with the rise in breaking down of family, and with the rise in people, because of the behavior, undermining community, I felt the church had to use its connection to influence and to help and to bring about some level of normality within communities.
I tell you, the thing with street pastors is that it's actually touched the hearts and minds of not only the church but the community. For people in the community, they are grateful when they see men and women from their very community, because street pastors is about working as local as possible, out there between the hours of 10 and 4 in the morning. We get a number of people, just come up to us and just say, look, thank you for being out there. So from the community perspective, they think it's great. Whatever little they understand about their church, they think that's where we ought to be. On the other hand, the church has embraced the whole initiative as another means to reaching out to people in the community. We don't say to people, look, here's street pastors, it'll take over everything else you're doing in your church. But we say, look, it's a valuable tool to be used and to direct your church members to.
All this time that you were around Richard, no one had reported you?
No.
I didn't
even know anything about this.
Oh, and no one had told you. Didn't you attend any day centers?
No.
No.
Just recently, I just went there the same morning as the same time.
And what they've been able to do is manage it in a different way to those, statutory agencies. It's not about enforcement, it's about engagement, it's about talking to people and reaching out to people at their level. And the feedback is excellent, very, very positive.
It's presence ministry, if you like. It's presence. The fact that they are visible, present on the street, that in itself will deter people from getting involved, perhaps, or doing something that they otherwise would have got involved in. From the shopkeeper's perspective, the street pastors have been on the streets for now 3 years. So it's about, we've taken time and we've built relationship with the club owners, with the doormen and women and the shopkeepers. So when we're not there, we're missed. And often we are the only visible uniform presence in the area. The police, if they're needed, are at hand, but we are visibly there saying, look, we're not the police, but we will express care and concern, and we're just being really good citizens, and making sure that people are safe on the streets. And people appreciate that.
I think one of the things that we have to try and figure out when we're looking at initiatives and how effective they are, in a sense, it's always, well, what would it be like if they weren't there? And I think the presence that the street pastors provide, the visible presence, is a very important one. And it's a different role to perhaps other visible presences around at that time of night. It's much more one of trying to engage with young people, trying to help them with any problems that they may be having. I'm aware that there are quite serious issues which can arise in the areas where the street pastors are working, and for me, having that presence as well as the police and so on seems to me a very important way for us as a community to be trying to work with all of our residents.
Walking down, last time I met you, guys, I was walking down.
Oh,
I had two pizzas last
Yeah,
time.
remember. But she complained because her pizza got cold.
I've been babysitting all week, can you believe? Still.
Yeah.
It's my first evening off. I'm babysitting, so I'm going to go home now.
Responsibility, that's all I have to do. Good evening, mate.
Like, I must say again, you lot doing a great job still. I said, I really like
I think that the partnership between faith groups, the police, the local authorities, that urban trinity, is of the highest importance in Lewisham. Partly because I've been around long enough to know what it was like when we didn't have that kind of partnership. The relationship between the local authority and the police 20 years ago was very different. It was much more antagonistic. Faith groups were at best seen as one of many interest groups that needed to be dealt with. Now I hope that people see church groups as being one of the real drivers for the better in our community, and the relationship that the police has with both faith groups and the council has changed out of all recognition, and that three-way working seems to me to be one of the real hopes for the future.
And I think that without it being that three-way partnership, it couldn't work, because without the commitment of any one of those elements, it could all fall apart, and we lose the contribution that you're able to make.
What we would like to see, obviously, is as this initiative grow and develop. For instance, another thing that's really on my heart, and as I did a 24-hour clock with the police, we noticed that one of the most vulnerable time in terms of crime is between 3:15 or 3:30 until minutes to 6. Now, what happens at that time? Children come out from school. Children meet at main thoroughfares. Children are being robbed of their mobile phone. Fights are happening. Children sometimes are getting stabbed. Children are robbing shops. And we're saying that we need to get out there, and we need to have school pastors who will get out there and be there for children, so that children who may feel vulnerable could have someone to get to. So I'd like to see that develop, school pastors develop, where we could really get out there. And I'd also like to see an early evening team, just be there for people so that people could, again, feel very safe.
Those people who want to help make our borough better, there are lots of ways that they can do that. One of them is by volunteering as a street pastor. Having seen for myself how it works, having met many of the street pastors, what's clear to me is that it's a very rewarding experience for you as an individual, but also you are actually doing something tremendously positive that makes Lewisham a better place to live, a better place for future generations.
Come and join us. It'll be challenging. It will be extremely interesting. It will give you a sense of what you're able to contribute to your community, but it will also give your community back a huge amount of resource, encouragement and support.